I am Eric Gitson, your youth governor, and this is our governor's cabinet press conference on Friday, March 1st, 2024. Would the rest of the cabinet like to introduce themselves?
Absolutely.
Sure.
You want to pass down the mic?
Oh, to me first. Okay. Is this good? Okay. My name is Kelsey Monday. I'm from the Highland delegation, and this is my third and final year of youth in government. In my second year on governor's cabinet, I'm really excited for this year and all of the signing of the bills.
I'm Olivia Marshall. I'm from the Mansfield Senior High School delegation. This is also my third and final year, and I just love getting to see every single bill that goes through, everybody's opinions.
Hi, I'm Delaney Nelson. I'm the Secretary of State for the early conference this year. This is also my third and final year, and I've really enjoyed seeing how well everyone's treating each other and just the positive environment for debate that I've seen.
Hi, I'm Greta Walraven. I'm this year's Chief of Staff. It's my second year of youth in government, so I still have one left. And I'm really looking forward to all the outcomes of the bills. We have a lot of great bills drafted so far, and I'm excited to see what happens to them.
Hi, I'm Michael Seveny. This is my second year in youth in government. I'm really excited to be on GovCab just because I like seeing people's purpose behind their bill, why they made it, and what inspires them about it, and how it can help people. So yeah, I'm really excited to sign bills and be able to get to a part in that process.
We have had a very productive and exciting day today. We've been in courtrooms, we've been in committee rooms in the House and the Senate. We've spoken in support of bills, against bills. We've defended court cases. We've gone after cases on the side of the state as well in the courts. We have now begun the process of considering the bills that are on our desk to sign or veto, and we're very excited to update everybody with the results of that and to have our bill signing ceremony tomorrow morning. Thank you. I'm ready to take questions now.
All right. Hi, my name is Sam Truster. This is towards all of you guys. What duties are each of you in charge of executing, and how do you plan to carry out these duties?
I'll start. So the role of the youth governor is an important one for helping make sure that each delegate has a positive conference experience through welcoming, through inclusivity, through resolving issues throughout the conference, and also for adopting a legislative agenda that we work as a cabinet to pursue.
I believe the question was, what was the question again?
The question was, what are your duties that you're in charge of, and how do you plan out on carrying out these duties?
So basically what I do is I implement the governor's agenda, and I speak on bills that not like they all relate to his agenda, but I sort of speak on them pro or against, really just speaking on his behalf. And we're sort of an extension of the youth governor, because he can't go to all of the committees, right? So basically we're just an extension of it.
In my eyes, our job is to kind of use our voice to implement the ideas of the governor and to help him use what we also think to help him enhance what he thinks. I like questioning people so that we can figure out the actual stance behind what they're doing before we get an actual determined thought process behind what they thought.
As Secretary of State, I serve my role and a GovCab position, so it's a lot of what I do is I made the dockets. I'm the one who stresses out whenever something gets delayed. But also my role is being able to go into committee rooms and speak on bills on behalf of the governor, and just helping to determine which bills align with his legislative agenda, which go against them, and which we might be able to amend to help it get passed.
As Chief of Staff, I think my biggest role is definitely helping Eric be less stressed. That's really the main responsibility that I have. But another one is definitely going into the courts to help represent those bills, because Eric is not able to do that. So that is definitely a big help that the governor's cabinet gives to Eric.
Like everybody has said, we are just an extension of his voice, but there's a lot of behind the scenes that goes on. I think this year on GovCab, I've taken a big role of doing some scheduling, making sure our stuff lines up, and I've been in courts a lot. So I haven't been in committee as much as I'd like to be, but the courtroom is really fun to be around, and even had an appeal earlier. Yeah, it's been a really great experience, and some of the background stuff we've had to figure out, but I feel overall we've done a great job, and we've organized everything in a way that we can get the most impact on everybody in the conference.
All right. My next question is toward Greta. As someone who is traveling across the State House and going into different rooms, people have been reporting issues with committee chairs, specifically with procedures, timing, and discrimination. Do you know if tackling these issues is with the scope of your position? And if so, how do you plan on tackling these issues?
I think it'd be improper to address it directly in the room because it's in front of all of the legislators and senators. So I definitely do not think that would be the best way to go about it. I have witnessed some of it myself. I think it does need to be addressed, but I think it would need to be addressed on its own time and maybe not even at the State House, maybe back at the hotel where we can, sit down, have a talk, and go over procedure again.
How are you going to be able to train your committee chairs before a conference so they're actually ready?
Well, two things. One, definitely being better with communication and making sure that even just like an email is sent out, like, these are the basic rules, please practice this. I think reaching out to people before the conference, even months ahead of time, is a way to personally address the problem. And then also there is an day of leadership training where I believe all committee chairs are welcome to show up. And I think that should honestly be more enforced. I think that if they want to be a committee chair, they need to make the commitment and show up for that day of leadership training.
Okay, my name is Vera George. I have two questions. I'd like to start with Delaney. So I have spoken with many first-year students, and the understanding that I have taken away from conversations with them is that they came into this trip sort of like completely clueless, not knowing how procedures work, that they're supposed to debate in committees, then on the floor, or like what their day-to-day is supposed to look like. I was wondering how you plan on addressing the system of communication between leadership and delegations and the process of how this system is run.
So I want to say, for one, that this conference is a really good opportunity to learn. So coming in my first year, I didn't really know much about what it was either. But a lot of it was part of experiencing it. So being able to go through and be adaptable, maybe not know exactly what you're going into, can be kind of beneficial to both the memories that you make and also the knowledge that you gain. But just to echo what everyone else has really said, I think communication is important. I also think passing the torch is important. So the leadership going into next year, that's part of their job as well, to make sure that all of our delegates are as informed as possible and they feel comfortable coming into it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so my second question was for Olivia. Being a part of the cabinet, how do you go about executing your role properly when you may disagree with the opinion of the governor?
Well, in the cabinet, we're kind of here to voice his opinion, so I kind of have to ignore sometimes what I think, but I try to look at it on more of an open thing, so I'm not necessarily shutting it down. So I have trust in what he thinks. So when he says something is wrong, I tend to hear him out before I completely am just like, okay, well, I disagree with you. So I hear him out and then I form my opinion. But I mean, for the most part, we're here to implement his idea. So I kind of have to look past that, but it tends to not really be a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Grace Metz, and I'm from the Delaware delegation. So my first question will be for Eric. So Eric, how will you be running the process to veto bills, and what will this process look like for both legislators and the GovCab?
Right, and I'm really excited to talk about that because that's what we're about to start doing as soon as the House and Senate get back into session. And I'd love to share more about that process. So as bills come onto our desk, once they're passed through House or through Senate, and once they're ruled constitutional if they've been challenged in court, they arrive on a digital docket that we have this year. And we go through, we'll bring in the bill author for questioning because I believe it's only fair that you should have a voice in defending your bill. We don't want to veto anything if there might be a chance that you can convince us otherwise. And so we'll bring them in for questioning. It's a good time for us to hear from them, about their intentions, about the details of their bill that maybe we couldn't glean just from our discussions. And then after that, we'll typically discuss each bill as a cabinet. and I really value the opinion of each of my cabinet members. So we attempt to find a consensus where we all agree on a decision for each bill. And we have so far signed one bill today, and we have not done a veto because we've not had almost any bills come out of the House or Senate chamber so far. But we all agreed on the decision we made, and we're going to continue to do that. And I can also guarantee each delegate that if I veto their bill, they are going to receive a written explanation note to explain that and to suggest improvements, just so they know that we've honored the dedication that they put into their bills.
Okay, thank you. My second question will be, so kind of going with the broader width of vetoing and enacting your agenda, how will GovCab be carrying out your agenda? And can you speak on any specific details about what bills will be supported or challenged by GovCab?
So we all have copies of the legislative agenda, but it's not something that we're looking at as 100% the blueprint. We're looking at what's going through committees. We're looking at, I always give my cabinet members a choice on, sure, I've laid out the priorities and our stances, but they each get to choose their favorite bills to speak on to make sure that we have the most passionate voice possible. And we're really looking at well-written bills that are going to make positive change in the state of Ohio. And I say that vaguely because it is vague. We are not aiming to fill a certain policy line. We are looking for any bill that's going to come to us, and we're not.
And this next question is for everybody. So what challenges have you all faced so far, and what challenges are you expecting to face? And how will you or how have you overcame these challenges?
Okay, so obviously we're here to represent Eric's interests, but I feel like part of the challenge is that we all just have different opinions. So we have gotten into some pretty good debates, but how we've overcome this, and I think the beauty of this is that we are trying to give everyone's bills a chance, and we're all, fighting for your bills, and we're also fighting to make sure that they're the best they can be. So I think that's the beauty of having a cabinet, and kind of why cabinets are there in the first place, to give the executive a broad range of opinions and to help, consider all the factors. So I think that's been really good.
So we definitely have spent a majority of this conference figuring out where we're supposed to be at what time. And it's been a bit of a roller coaster. Shout out to Michael, who basically made the entire schedule for where we're supposed to be. I think we overcame kind of this problem just by actually making the commitment of what we're supposed to be doing, and always listening to each other, always being available to put more work in even after we're done with technically being at the State House. We got a pretty good group of hard workers.
The biggest challenge for me this year probably has just been getting used to the pace. Last year I was a legislator. I didn't have a bill. I came to Youth and Gov. It was my first year, and I was kind of cruising through, but I wanted to be a part of the process as much as I could. So in my committees and sometimes on the floor, I was in the House of Representatives, I tried as much as I could to make an impact on the bill and bring a different perspective or a different question or statement in any way that I could. So I think that's one thing this year. I'm trying to see maybe the good and the bad in all the bills, and if we all come to one consensus really quick, maybe slow down for a second, take a look at the opposite side. Who could this affect that we don't see right this second? So,
Guys, have any more questions?
Okay.
I'm Noah Whitney from the Delaware delegation, and this is to all of you, and it kind of goes with Vera's question as well from earlier. Some have spoken about being able to have one-on-one sessions with delegates who are struggling, having questions, or are able to meet at the prearranged times. How will they be able to contact you for the questions they have in the future?
Being able to reach out to each other even before the conference, sort of trying to make it a community, because youth in government is yes, it is this just one 2-day conference, but then again it also is a big community that we can come together and bring our ideas together. So I definitely think if we came together earlier, before the conference, a lot of us would be a lot more comfortable in helping the delegates know each other and just having a better time all around. So I definitely think earlier, like reaching out earlier would definitely help.
Most part, I mean, they can come up to us, but there is a lot of like icebreaker and like full, like every delegation things that we do like back at the hotel, and I think that those are like the perfect time to go out and talk to people who know what they're doing and know things about it, and no one's really gonna ever shut you down. So you could come find any of us, and I think that would be good.
I would just say, if you come up to any one of us, you're never going to hear, "Oh, we can't do that." You're going to hear, "Oh, I'm going into this room. Let me introduce you to Olivia. Let me introduce you to Greta." We're going to make sure you have your question heard. So just feel free to come up to us.
I'm kind of stating the obvious here, but we do have an app, and that app has our names on it, and most of us have Instagram. If you really need something, DM us. We will respond. Eric might not respond very fast, but we will respond. So that's how I would contact us.
Yeah, like Greta said, I think we're all tagged on the Instagram, right? In the Meet the Cabinet posts. Also, we have bright green badges. Like Olivia said, we have a lot of time at the hotel where we're just kind of walking around, maybe our state-mandated fun time. But overall, there's just a lot of opportunity to come up, talk, get to know people, ask questions. Like Greta said, we have a whole app.
Okay, I have one last final question directed toward Eric. So in past years, governors have really decided how they're going to veto bills based on either like political views, so like how they feel about the topic of a bill, or the quality of the bill. You mentioned earlier in the interview that you care about the quality of the bill, probably more than the politics of the bill, correct?
The politics of the bill do play a role, and I want to emphasize that we are not looking at this based on a political agenda in terms of a partisan agenda. We are looking at it in terms of the most bipartisan set of priorities that we could find. I know this was a conversation earlier in the year when this agenda was being formed about how we can address the issues that are important to the most delegates possible. And we're looking at a really, really broad range of solutions for these issues. So unless we find something to be directly against the interest of the state of Ohio, we're really considering it, pretty likely to be signed, assuming it is a well-written bill and it's passed and it's going to make impactful change in Ohio.
Continuing the theme of transparency, as you guys have talked about, as you obviously come out with vetoes in the next couple hours because you haven't had many bills to be able to veto, so you probably will release some more.
They'll be coming soon.
How should students come talk to you about how they feel if their bill gets vetoed and the transparency there?
Quite literally, the door is open. We keep the door open at all times for that exact reason. We are in a conversation with somebody right then. The door's open. Come in, let one of us know, and we'll discuss. We can talk to you about your bill. We can go over anything you want. We can help you with anything because that's what we're here for.
Any final statements?
Well, again, I want to thank cabinet members. They've been working an amount that I'm not even going to say right now, but they were up past midnight last night. They can tell you all about it, I'm sure. We were working on bills. We were working on what we're going to focus on today, and that's the dedication they're putting into this. But also, we have a good time. We're not in legislative sessions all day long. We have flexibility. We're all over the place. We'll see what's going on in courts and committees. Like, we'll get all the moments of conference that you can't get if you're in one committee. And that's one of the reasons I'd recommend applying for cabinet next year, because it is a dynamic position. You will not be bored. Any of you bored?
No.
All right.
We're very tired.
to get back to work.
They're very tired. We've got to get back to work. But we appreciate speaking to you all today, and thank you very much for the work you do.
Okay, thank you.